welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Happy to be here with you, hanging out where sports meets life in these Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday and all the time online by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Check out their inventory at GreatLakesHondaCity.com and get a feel for all that they have to offer to you. Their new and used vehicles, buy and lease, all at GreatLakesHondaCity.com, where you can get that sneak peek at what's on the lot. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.mixlr.com. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for hanging out with us here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call. I'm excited for today. We have the opportunity here to do two wonderful things. We're back inside a fantasy football season, and as you know, on Wake Up Call every Wednesday during the fantasy football year and the NFL season itself, I give you fantasy football advice for all of the games, every week. We talk about every single team. We talk with people from all over the country and sometimes the world, and you can always write in your fantasy football questions. So if you're heading into your draft, if you just got out of your draft, and of course in the season when you're setting your lineup, who should I play, who should I sit, all of that can be discussed here on Wake Up Call. I'm always happy to answer your questions, and of course you can go to the feeds on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. If you respond to the video directly, then I will see your questions and I'll be able to answer them. And of course, you can also write into us by going to wakeupcalldt.mixlr.com. There's a live feed there that you can also write into. So if you have questions about fantasy football or just want to talk about the show, whatever topic's going on at the time, you can always feel free to reach out to me on any one of these outlets, and I'm happy to respond and appreciate y'all and thank y'all for being supportive, for watching, and for listening. So today we're going to start the show off by bringing you fantasy football coverage. I'll give you some advice, some thoughts. We'll talk about some injuries that have happened and how that can affect your fantasy, especially early on in the draft. And then we will get into my fantasy football grades for those that drafted, for the teams that are out there. We just had our first fantasy football draft of this 2026-27 season, and I had the pleasure of doing that draft with Zach. I want to give Zach a shout out, Charles, as well as Paul and his son Landon. I want to show a lot of love for all of the wonderful people that came out and were a part of this. Of course, Nicholas, I want to send love out to Nicholas as well. I want to thank and appreciate everybody that was a part of this. I want to thank Phil. I want to thank Macaulay. And, you know, we had a fantastic draft. A lot of fun, a lot of great people. And, you know, some of us have been together from the beginning of the beginning. You know, Zach and I and Nicholas and Phil, you know, we've been drafting together for many, many years. Paul's been with us for a bunch of years. His son joined over the last few years. So it's a blessing for me to be able to do this. You make these incredible friends, and, you know, without fantasy football, I wouldn't know any of these people. So I'm grateful for the paths crossing. I'm grateful for the conversations. I'm grateful for the laughs. Also got to shout out my guy Pete Green, who is the owner of Mother's Cupboard. He's in this fantasy football league as well. So want to send my love out to Pete, and always appreciate my time with Mr. Green. So yeah, I mean, this is a great experience. It's great to do this every single season. So I will be giving draft grades to everybody that drafted. I do not give myself a draft grade because I don't think that that's fair. So, you know, that can always be assessed by somebody else, but I do not give myself a grade because I just don't think that that's how you should do it. So we will get into those in just a little bit. And then in hour number 2 at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, I will bring you a piece of my partnership with the Big West Conference. As you know, in August, on August 1st, a monumental, amazing opportunity in collegiate athletics, in sports in general, and in business happened as officially I signed on with the Big West Conference, the entire conference. Now, those of you that know the show and know me know that I have worked with individual colleges and universities, and now branching out that multimedia marketing partnership plan that is state of the art, truly different, and stands on its own from anything else you're seeing around the country, has been extended out to now working with an entire conference and all of their membership. So the amazing opportunity and blessing to work with the Big West Conference. I want to thank Dan Butterly, the commissioner, and his team. I want to give a shout out to Tom and Chloe, who I've also got to spend some time with here in these first few weeks, and definitely appreciate all the work that they're doing behind the scenes as well to work with the Big West, and of course the Big West membership and all that they have done to make sure that the conversations that we have been able to share with you have happened. So this partnership, this unique and incredible opportunity, is something that means the world to me. And every single week you get to have the Journey Out West, which airs on Fridays. And that Journey Out West is an episode every single week at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time on Fridays, 7:15 a.m. Pacific Time out on the West Coast, where I have the opportunity to speak with a full member institution of the Big West and either a student athlete, coach, administrator, whoever it may be, and we get to share their stories. We rotate all the schools, so every school will have an opportunity to be on the show before we go back to another school. So each of those specials come to you every single week with Journey Out West, and now for the first time ever, we will be unveiling what the bold step forward is. It is a once-a-month conversation with the commissioner of the Big West, and Dan Butterly. We will be sharing our first episode, our inaugural episode today, where Dan and I talk about collegiate athletics nationally, everything that's going on, his stand in the Big West, what he's seen, and really a full look at nationally what is happening in the world of collegiate athletics, affecting student athletes, schools, and obviously affecting this entire United States of America. So Dan and I will share our inaugural episode, A Bold Step Forward, which will be Dan here on the show with me once a month, speaking from the seat of commissioner of the Big West. So a lot of great stuff coming up today. Let's get things started with fantasy football coverage. So obviously, looking at fantasy football, I got to give my draft grades, and I'll be doing that in just a little bit for our Wake Up Call Captains on Call League. We have two leagues here in Central New York. One is called Captains on Call. The other is called the Gridiron Gurus. Those names have been carried over for many years, I believe over a decade now. So the Captains on Call League, if you're in that league and you drafted with me over the weekend, please know I will be giving your draft grade in just a little bit here in this first hour of the broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So definitely stay with me on that. Looking at the injuries here, Ashton Genty avoided a major injury, which is a beautiful thing here. But I want to take a look as you get ready to draft, or maybe you already drafted, to let you know injury-wise where people are at. Tyler Warren, who was a strong rookie coming from Penn State and going to the Indianapolis Colts at the tight end position, he's going through a groin injury, but he is expected to play in week 1. So he is going to be out at least through this week with the groin injury, but he's likely to play week 1 right now. Alec Pierce of the Indianapolis Colts as well at wide receiver. He sat out the entire offseason program following ankle surgery. He will hopefully return to practice later this week, and right now he's on likely to play for the opening of the season. Also likely to play to open up week 1 of the 2026-27 season, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the running back coming off his rookie season with the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn said Monday that Merritt is dealing with an undisclosed injury, potentially sustained near the end of last week, and it could be a lower body injury. Chuba Hubbard, who's in a backfield that features Jonathan Brooks coming back from an injury that kept him out of his rookie season. Chuba is now on the injury report, but he's expected to return for week 1. Him and Jonathan Brooks are operating in a committee as of right now, and Hubbard said that his hamstring feels good. The team is protecting him from himself after he returned too early last year. And then we have linebacker Odafe Owe, from the Washington Commanders. He signed a 4-year, $96 million deal. In the offseason, he had a calf strain around August 17th, 18th, and hopefully he will be back. Breece Hall should be playing week 1. He also has a groin injury, the running back for the New York Jets. He had a non-contact groin sprain. Head coach Aaron Glenn said it would sideline him for 2 to 3 weeks and not carry over into the regular season. And the week 1 opener was nearly 4 weeks away when Glenn said 2 to 3 weeks. So hopefully that means that he will be out there soon. Ashton Genty has some uncertainty about week 1. He has an ankle sprain. So as we take a look at this, he went down during a non-contact catching drill. The ball was thrown low, allegedly, from Kirk Cousins, and now he can't. And so he went for the ball low, and it was a contact drill, in practice. And so the ankle sprain has put him in a place where we're not sure if he'll be ready to go in week 1. Also, up in the air about week 1 is George Kittle. He tore his Achilles and he's recovering from that. So his recovery from the torn Achilles suffered in the playoffs hit a new high on Sunday. They activated him, the Niners did, off of the physically unable to perform list, but we are still looking at whether or not he will for sure be out there for week 1. Kyle Monangai, running back for the Chicago Bears, has knee hyperextension, and so he hyperextended his right knee on August 16th, and currently is week to week. Tight end for the Lions, Sam Laporta, he is in a place right now where he's up in the air as he deals with a hip issue. And beyond that, Jeremiah Love, the 3rd overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft for the Arizona Cardinals, he has a high ankle sprain. Now, as we take a look at this, he was in week 1 of the preseason. It was the first game of the preseason, the Hall of Fame game, played in Canton, Ohio, where the NFL's Hall of Fame is located. And he went up against the Carolina Panthers. He suffered a high ankle sprain, and week 1 is now up in the air for him. He has been dealing with this, and hopefully he will get on the field very soon. So who's out for the foreseeable future and potentially the season, unfortunately, we take a look at these players, and one of them is Calvin Austin III, somebody I covered and interviewed when he was at college in Memphis with the Tigers. He's a New York Giants wide receiver now, and so this was supposed to be his debut season with the Giants. Trainers carted Austin off the practice field in what was described as a serious knee injury, so hopefully he will be back sooner than later, and God bless to him. More injuries to talk about that could be out for a long time. Jaden Higgins was placed on injured reserve. He tore his ACL on August 18th, the wide receiver for the Houston Texans, in a joint practice with the Baltimore Ravens. He went out with his injury. Alvin Kamara has an MCL sprain diagnosis. He sprained his MCL in a joint practice with the Cowboys on August 18th. Apparently you shouldn't have joint practices with anybody, so hopefully he will be okay. They said he'd miss at least a month, and the week 1 matchup with the Lions was less than a month away at the time of Schefter's report. So obviously he could be out for that week 1, hopefully not longer. Jordan Tyson, the rookie wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, has a hamstring injury. He will reportedly miss 2 months after suffering a right hamstring injury on August 13th during a joint practice with the Jaguars. And Tyson has dealt with several hamstring injuries, though this one is separate from the previous ones they're stating. So just want to let you know, give you a little update fantasy football wise on what's going on, because I don't want you drafting somebody that's going to be out, obviously, and don't want you to be in a position where you're really excited about your team and you go out and you get somebody and then you find out that that player is going to be out for a significant amount of time. Hopefully, I know a lot of people are paying attention to the Jeremiah Love injury because he is the number 3 overall pick. He is obviously supposed to have a high workload, even though he's a rookie, to go out there for the Arizona Cardinals. So hopefully he will be better and get out there very soon. And, this is a guy that people are drafting in the first round. Ashton Genty, another guy people are drafting in the first round. So hopefully he will be okay and he'll be able to go. So a high ankle sprain for one, and an ankle injury ankle injuries for both of these running backs, unfortunately, but hopefully they'll get on the field soon. And those are the two ones that I think everybody's really looking at. So my best, Godspeed, God bless, and in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, may you heal completely, may you heal for good, and may you heal no matter what through God, and may you handle well whatever comes your way in and out of your control. I pray that for everyone, including Jeremiah Love and Ashton Genty and everybody else that we talked about here on the show today. God bless to you all. In Jesus' name, we pray and hope. Amen. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick step aside for a fast break. When I come back, I will give my fantasy football grades. That is right. I'm going to go through every team that's not mine, and I will be giving grades to our Wake Up Call Fantasy Football League that drafted at the Wildcat Sports Pub over the weekend. And that league is called Captains on Call. Some of us have drafted together for over a decade. We've been at the Wildcat for 9 years, and I have been bringing this fantasy football league to you for, I believe, 14 years at this point. So we will get into my grades with all of our draft. What do I want to call everybody? I mean, I'm the commissioner, so I guess our draft owners are all the owners of the teams. So I lost my word there for a second, but we will talk about each of the draft owners, and I'll give them my grade right after this inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Gina Husted. I'm part owner of Skippy's Ice Cream. The other half is my better half, Don Husted Jr. When somebody comes up to the truck and it's a family, it's nice that the older generation is nostalgic and they can tell the younger generation, back in my day, we used to have the truck around our neighborhood. So now you're lucky because the truck can come to your party, and you're lucky that this truck is at a festival and you're getting to buy the ice cream. And basically we're ice cream that comes to you now, specifically comes to you, not for you waiting for us. We're coming to you. We will do neighborhoods if you have a block party. We do birthdays, we do anniversaries, we do celebrations of life, we do wedding showers, we do festivals, we'll do corporate events, we have a lot of corporate picnics, we have family reunions, so it's a whole wide range of whatever party you have, we'd love to be at. We're so appreciative of the community, always coming up to us at festivals and calling us to have different events. We have a lot of return customers. We always have people coming up to our truck. We're always there for the community. We always try to give back to different organizations and fundraisers, and so I think the community sees that. We like to give back to them. This is where we live. This is where we were raised. This is where our kids were raised. So the community is very special to us. I mean, obviously we've lived here our whole lives, so it means a lot that they come up to our truck and that they choose us, because we're just there to please the community and deal with as many people as we can in this community, because this is, like I said, where we were born and raised. If you'd like to get in touch with Skippy's Ice Cream and have us at your next event, I would suggest using our email, skipthecake, SKIPTHECAKE, skipthecake@gmail.com. That's the fastest way to get a hold of us. It's the easiest way to get a hold of us, and that's going to get the fastest response from us. If you choose to call, if you don't have an email, then you can call 315-456-9750, and we'll be glad to get back to you as soon as we can. Skippy's Ice Cream, the original ice cream truck.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. It could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday and all the time online by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. It is now time for me to give you my fantasy football grades for our first fantasy football league draft of the season. And that is the Captains on Call League. The Captains on Call League is a league that we have exclusively at the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. We've been drafting at the Wildcat now for 9 years, and some of these draft owners have been with me for more than 9 years because we started all the way back when Quaker Steak and Lube used to be out here in central New York. So I got a lot of love and appreciation for those that have been riding with me from the beginning, and for all of you that have come in recently and become a part of the league. Appreciate you so very much. So once again, thank you to everybody, and I want to make sure that I shout out Phil, Nicholas, Zach, Charles, Macaulay, Pete, Mark. Mark, I should have thanked you before. Mark is a newbie. Mark is the newest one to our league, the father of Zach, Paul, and of course to Paul's son Landon. So shout out to the Captains on Call League. That is the name of our fantasy football league inside of our Wake Up Call fantasy football leagues here in Central and Upstate New York that draft exclusively at the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. So I'm going to go down the line here. I'm going to start with Phil. So here is Phil's draft. Phil went with this season Jamar Chase. Now, this doesn't have like the actual pick of the draft. It's not like, oh, this guy was second overall and da-da-da-da. So don't think that Phil had the number one pick. I'm just literally going through who they drafted. Now, who they drafted, it is in this order. So in round 1, he got Jamar Chase. Round 2, Saquon Barkley, so on and so forth. It is a snake draft. So it goes from pick 1 to pick 10, and then 10 back to 1. So it's important for you to know that. It's important for you to know that the picks I'm giving are in order of what round he got them in, 1 through 18, and then I will give him a grade. But the overall pick, that's not something that we're given here. It's not like, I mean, I can tell you, I can go through it all. We'll be here for about 9 hours, but I'm going through who he drafted 1 through 18, and then I'll give you my thoughts. So, first, for round 1, he got Jamar Chase. So Phil went with a receiver from the Bengals. Then he went with Saquon Barkley in round 2 from the Eagles. Then he went with Chase Brown from the Bengals at running back in round 3. It's funny, 2 guys on the Bengals, both of them Chase. Jamar Chase, Chase Brown. So I think, Phil, you should have something that has to do with the word Chase inside of the name of your team this season. In the 4th round, he went with a tight end with Arizona Cardinal tight end Trey McBride, who has a new quarterback throwing to him with Kyler Murray, now a Minnesota Viking. Then he went with Bengals quarterback in the 5th round. You get team quarterbacks in my league. I think every league, if you don't, you should do team quarterback. And why do I think you should do the team quarterback? Because to me, having a team quarterback puts you in a better position. If somebody goes down, if there's a quarterback situation like in Minnesota where maybe Kyler Murray goes in for the 1st and 2nd quarter, he struggles, J.J. McCarthy comes in at halftime. Let's say Kyler has a touchdown and then J.J. comes in and has 2, you get 3. Now, if you just have Kyler, you get 1 and you don't get the other 2 from J.J. If you just have J.J., well, he might not play for the first 3 weeks and you got nothing. So when you have the team quarterback, that means you get all of the quarterbacks on that team's roster, which I think is huge. And to me, it's something that when I first started playing fantasy football, when I was around 11 or 12 years old, the league did team quarterbacks, and I just adopted it into my fantasy football work. And I've been a commissioner of fantasy football for, I want to say, at least 20 years. And then I've had these leagues professional, put out there in connection with, restaurants and whatnot. We've been putting these leagues out professionally through my company for 15 years, 14 years. So team quarterback's really important. And it's one of the things that I heard people talking about last year. All these years I've been doing it. And I was hearing the mumbles and whatnot at the tables of people saying, like, I love that we have team quarterback. I love that that's something that we do. So I'm happy that you appreciate it. If you don't have team quarterback, I think your league should change to it. I do always believe in, if you're going to change for the better. If you're going to do anything, grow. And so I always try to learn and adjust. There's certain things that I think are good that I'll keep with, and there's things that I've adjusted over time that I think are beneficial to everybody. So always open to the opportunity to have the discussion. I love team quarterback. Now, Phil is not a Bengals fan, but he drafted 3 Bengals in the first 5 rounds. So I want to be clear about that. In the 6th round, he went with running back Quinshon Judkins. So in the first 6 rounds, he drafted 3 running backs, 50% of his first 6 picks were running backs. Then he went back-to-back wide receivers, DJ Moore out of Buffalo, who's supposed to be the number 1 guy, Mike Evans, who's now in San Fran. Phil's a San Fran fan, so in the 8th round, he got his first 49er. Then he went and got Dalton Kincaid, his second tight end, in the 9th round. Then Mekhi Lemon out of USC, who is a rookie for the Eagles, who was voted the number 1 wide receiver in the country for college football this past season in one of the awards that I vote in nationally, which is the Biletnikoff Award. And I want to thank everybody at the Biletnikoff Award for allowing me the opportunity to vote. I appreciate it. God bless, and thank you so much. And Mekhi Lemon won that award. He drafted Mekhi in the 10th round. And obviously A.J. Brown's not in Philly anymore. Somebody's got to help out Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. He's hoping it's Mekhi. And then in the 11th round, he got his second quarterback, and that is the Chargers team quarterback, Justin Herbert. Then 12th round, Tank Dell at wide receiver. Then he went 2 more wide receivers, Keenan Allen with the Colts now, Deebo Samuel Sr., who's back with the Niners after having a cup of coffee with the Washington Commanders. Then he got his 3rd tight end, A.J. Barner, in the 15th round. His 3rd quarterback, Tyler Shuck of the Saints, in the 16th round, and the whole team for the team quarterback of the Saints. And then I have a rule in my leagues. You cannot draft well, I shouldn't say you cannot. It is frowned upon. So you get 1 defense and you get 1 kicker. And my rule in my leagues is if you draft a defense or a kicker before the final 2 rounds, you have to buy a round. So if you do it before the final 2 rounds, you buy a round. So we wait until the end. He got Texans defense and special teams in the 17th round. Instead of having individual defensive players, you get the entire defense. In my league, you get points for interception, you get points for forced fumble, fumble recovery, sack, how many points you allow overall in the game, how many yards you allow in the game, and if they return anything for a touchdown. Kickoff return, punt return, interception return, fumble return, whatever it may be. And he got the San Fran kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, in the 18th round. So overall, looking at Phil's draft, I'm going to say, I think he got a good quarterback. If Joe Burrow stays healthy, he got one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in the country right now. He got Saquon, who I was looking at getting, who dropped a little bit into the 2nd round here, so I thought that was smart. And I would say, Keenan Allen's a reach. Deebo Samuel might be a reach. Tank Dell's got to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, there's a lot of good there. In my league, you have to have 2 tight ends. You don't have to have 3. You have to have 2 team quarterbacks. You don't have to have 3. He decided to get the max quarterback, max tight end. So I probably wouldn't have gotten, I toy with getting a 3rd quarterback. I probably wouldn't have gotten a 3rd tight end, but I do like the tight ends he got. So, Phil, I'm going to have to say, looking at your entire draft here, you got some starters later on. You did some good things. So, Phil, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you here. So, Phil, you get an A- in the draft. I'm going to give you a little A- here. You got to stick with your gut, and that's what my gut told me. So I'm going to give Phil an A- as I give my draft grades to the Wake Up Call Fantasy Football League that just drafted at the Wildcat. The league's name is Captains on Call. So if you're in this league, I'm grading you right now. Let's go to Nicholas. So Nicholas, let's see what we got. Christian McCaffrey in the 1st round. All right. I get a little leery and anxious about drafting Christian McCaffrey because I drafted him years ago and he tore his ACL. So that was something that I was not, it's hard for me to go and draft Christian McCaffrey because I don't expect him to play every week. I pray that he does. I just don't expect him to. So I didn't go with him. Christian McCaffrey goes to Nick's team. Jonathan Taylor, back-to-back running backs here. And Jonathan Taylor from Indy. Then George Pickens is his first wide receiver. And obviously waited until the 3rd round to get a wide receiver. So that's probably would have gone maybe a little bit earlier. But he did get 2 top-tier running backs. That's the thing you got to kind of grapple with. Is you can get a top-tier running back, top-tier wide receiver. Or you can lean on one and say, hey, there's 2 really good guys at the same position. Do I take them and then assess another position? he took Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars team quarterback the 4th round. Trevor Lawrence is ranked high this year. I'm happy that people are finally respecting him nationally. I've been respecting the guy since he was at Clemson and interviewed him, had him on the show, and have talked to him on and off the air. I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence, so happy to see him get some love this year in fantasy. Then Rashee Rice in the 5th round at wide receiver for Kansas City. Rashee, I mean, he played for SMU. I cover SMU. I like Rashee. I want the best for Rashee, but, he's gotten in some trouble. He's not always out there. He's not always consistent. This Kansas City offense under Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is a great quarterback. The team has been a great team. They've won multiple NFL championships. But when it comes to wide receiver, it's kind of a toss-up every week outside of Travis Kelce historically. So, I don't know. I wouldn't pick Rashee Rice. But then Breece Hall as the 3rd running back in the 6th round. I do like this. Carnell Tate, Tennessee wide receiver. I'm okay with that because Carnell Tate, I mean, this is a guy from Ohio State, one of the many Ohio State players that got drafted early in the actual 2026 NFL draft. A 7th round pick for the Tennessee wide receiver now with him being with the Titans as a rookie. I always talk about this. Tennessee cannot help themselves. If they have a 1st round pick in the top 10, they're probably taking a wide receiver. I thought they were going to take Jeremiah Love. Arizona got him. So even more so, I'm not surprised that they went Carnell Tate. Jadarian Price in the 8th round for Nicholas. I'm not against this. Notre Dame running back going to the Seattle Seahawks. Somebody's got to take the opening that Kenneth Walker III creates by going to Kansas City. I don't trust in Zach Charbonnet to be the dominant guy. And you'll see later on the handcuff happen here in the 12th round of Nicholas getting Zach Charbonnet. In between, Travis Kelce is his first tight end. We'll see where Taylor Swift's husband's going to be in this whole thing, but I hope the best for Travis Kelce. All jokes aside, really do hope the best. Michael Pittman Jr. is now a Pitt wide receiver. This was strange to me that the Colts let go of Michael Pittman Jr. He finally had a good season, finally had some consistency, and then the Colts let him go after drafting him a few years back. Then the Colts quarterback as the 2nd quarterback for this team, Daniel Jones. This is good to have a team quarterback because you got Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, and Riley Leonard, and they all played last year. Then Zach Charbonnet, like I said, in the 12th round, the handcuff. What is a handcuff? It's when you draft 2 players at the same position that you think are going to split time. So you draft them together in the hopes that you'll be able to shore up that backfield. So Jadarian Price, Zach Charbonnet, you get them both. You see how the workload goes. Is it even? Is it more on one side than the other? Is one guy a pass catching running back and the other guy going, between the tackles? You can assess all this, but now you got both of them. So now you're not playing against them. And if you want to trade bait one of them, then, you still get to keep one of the guys in the backfield. So it's a good thing to have the handcuff if you think they're both going to get used. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery with the Lions is probably the best example of this because they both had strong workload. Now, Isaiah Likely at tight ends, he is a Giant now. He's been a Baltimore Raven. He could be the dominant guy, but they also have Theo Johnson. So that was the 2nd tight end picked up by Nicholas. This was in round 13. Travis Hunter, the 2-way player who is an offensive and defensive player, wide receiver and corner. Travis Hunter in round 14. I didn't pick him up. I am a Jag fan. You say you're wearing a Broncos jersey. I'll explain myself in a little bit here as to why I'm doing that. But Travis Hunter getting drafted in the 14th round, not bad. I just don't know how much he's going to be used on the offense. So that's why I was a little questionable if I wanted to do it myself. Brian Robinson Jr., who was with the Washington Commanders, Atlanta Falcons here. He's now a running back there. 15th round, picking him up. Not bad. Christian Watson dropping all the way to the 16th round due to inconsistency at wide receiver for Green Bay. He could still end up being the number 1 guy. And then Harrison Butker, Kansas City kicker, Ravens defense in round 18. Those are good pickups. So ultimately, when I look at this, I would probably safely... I feel like I'm going to give Nicholas gets a B- in the draft for this year. So I'll give him a B-, and then we'll head to Zach's draft. Let's look at Zach. So Zach got Puka Nacua, and Zach drafted right in the middle of the draft. So he was drafting 5th of 10. So he was smack dab in the middle. He got Puka Nacua in this snake draft that goes 110, 10-1, 110, and you get it. So the Rams wide receiver in the first round. Then he got James Cook, the third Buffalo running back, coming back in the second round. Then he got Jaden Daniels in the third round at quarterback. That's good. Jaden Daniels in some places is ranked second best fantasy quarterback in the country. He got Cam Scadaboo. He is a Giants fan. He got Scadaboo in the fourth round. I told everybody last year Scadaboo would be the starter as a rookie. I truly believed that he was going to be the dominant back for the Giants before he even played a down. I covered him in the college football playoff, was in the same room as him in the Arizona State-Texas game, post-game that was played at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, an instant classic. Scadaboo healthy is great for the Giants in their hopes of making the playoffs this year. Chris Olave in the fifth round, that's good to get him deeper. Tyler Warren, I literally read his name as Tyler Williams and overlooked him, and I immediately realized it. Zach and I have the same brain, so he got him before I could when it came to him in the sixth round, tight end out of Indy going into his sophomore season. I predicted he would have a great rookie season out of Penn State, and he did. Then in the seventh round, he went with one of the most interesting names in the NFL, Bajil Tootin. And Bajil Tootin, Jaguars running back without Travis Etienne Jr., who now wants to be called Travis Achan Jr. With him gone, Tootin is a dominant guy. Getting him in the seventh round, that's a good pick because he is the number one guy in Jacksonville. Marvin Harrison Jr. falling all the way to the eighth round, Cardinals. Zach always has really good drafts. I love that pick later on. Aaron Jones Sr., Minnesota Vikings running back. I don't believe in Aaron Jones to be one of my dominant guys, but he is picking him up as his fourth running back, so nothing wrong with that. Parker Washington, this is a guy who I'm really happy. I bought a bunch of his autographs off of my buddy Curtis Tillman III. Shout out to Curtis. And got all these relatively cheap, very cheap. And then Parker ended up having a good season last season. He's been with the Jags for a few years. He was one of the guys that you always wondered, was he going to make the team? Now he very arguably could be one of the top three wide receivers on the Jaguars because they've believed in him. He's believed in himself, and it's worked out. So shout out to him in the 10th round from Zach. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, starting running back for the Commanders this late in the 11th round of the draft. Great pickup. Khalil Shakir for Buffalo. I thought about drafting Khalil Shakir, but the inconsistency makes me nervous. He got him in the 12th round. And then, Zach knows my brain. I forgot about this guy, and before I could remember, Oronde Getz in the second was off the board. I got him at the end of the draft last year and believed that he was going to be the starter for the Chargers when some people were probably wondering if he was going to even make the team. I believed in Oronde Getz out of Syracuse, and he did a great job, had a good rookie season, had some pretty big moments as a rookie, and became the dominant tight end. He is the dominant tight end for the Chargers now. He got him in round 13. I love it. RJ Harvey, people were shying away from Denver running backs. I guess they're nervous or not believing that Harvey or J.K. Dobbins will be consistent. He got him in the 14th round. Jalen Coker, Carolina wide receiver, in the 15th round here. And then he went and got a third quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, the rookie and number one overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Then he got Cam Little, the guy who can boot a 70-plus yard field goal for the Jaguars. And then he got the Steelers defense in the 18th round. So, I don't really have to think too hard on this one. Zach, I got to give it up to you, man. I'm giving you an A in this draft. I'm giving you an A. Could be an A+. I'm giving you an A. I think you drafted extremely well. So let's go to Charles. Charles went in the first round by drafting a quarterback. There was two quarterbacks drafted in the first round. And so the second one that was drafted in our first round was Lamar Jackson. You'll find out the first in a second. In the second round, he got Ashton Genty. Obviously, hopefully Ashton is going to be good with his ankle injury and able to play and be out there. Then he went with Dak Prescott in the third round. Two quarterbacks that early. I don't agree with that. Travis Etienne Jr., who now wants to be called Travis Achan Jr., saying his name was pronounced incorrectly most of his life. And I wish I knew so that I could have pronounced it correctly for him. Now I will. But I have to announce him as Etienne and Achan because I think a lot of people still don't know. And I think if they hear me say Travis Achan, they're going to think that I messed up or I'm nuts. So I want to clarify. Travis Etienne is now Travis Achan, which is not Devon Achan. And yeah, it's a little confusing. New Orleans Saints, 4th round, that's a good pickup. Dallas Goedert, Eagles tight end in the 5th round, not bad. I don't know if I would have went that high on Goddard. Devontae Smith in the 6th round, I like the pickup for the number 1 Philly wide receiver, arguably. DeAndre Swift, Chicago Bears running back in the 7th round, that's a good pickup where he got him. DK Metcalf, we'll see what happens, but Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver in the 8th round with another year of Aaron Rodgers, and I predicted that Aaron would be back this year, so I'm not surprised that he is. Then we look at Ramondre Stevenson, who's sharing the backfield with Travion Henderson in New England in the 9th round. Could still be a serviceable guy. I wonder how much work he's going to get, especially if Travion continues to improve and do well. Rashad White is now a Commander. He got him in the 10th round at running back. Not bad, but again, I think Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, healthy, is going to get the lion's share of the carries. In the 11th round, Jordan Addison, Vikings wide receiver. Not a bad bet here. I mean, hopefully Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy can get the ball out there. Tyler Algier is now gone from one nest to another. He went from the Falcons to the Cardinals, and we'll see what happens in this world. Tyler Algier, to me, was good, and I like the 1-2 punch with him in the past, but he's kind of fallen off, and we'll see. But now he has, obviously, even more focus on him, so this could be a steal in the 12th round with Jeremiah Love having the high ankle sprain. God willing, Jeremiah is going to be okay. Braylon Allen, Jets running back. He'll get some pub here. Getting him in the 13th round is not bad. Dalton Schultz in the 14th round at tight end out of Houston for the Texans is a great pickup at that time. Rashid Shaheed, Seattle, wide receiver 15th. A lot of people focus on Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp, but you got to look at Shaheed too. Then he got his 3rd quarterback, which you don't have to do in my league, but a lot of guys did, and his 3rd quarterback is Baker Mayfield in the Bucs. And then Kaimi Fairbairn, the Houston Texans kicker, and Seattle's shutdown defense. So I'm going to say safely here, I like some steals that he got. I like when he got Jordan Addison. I like when he got Braylon Allen, when he got Dalton Schultz, arguably when he got Rashid Shaheed, arguably when he got DeAndre Swift and Devontae Smith. So, Charles, I'm going to give you a draft grade of B+ in our draft this year. I'm going to give you a B+. And then we'll go to McCauley. Let's go to McCauley. So McCauley is Jackson Smith and Jigba in the 1st round, Seattle wide receiver. Jeremiah Love in the 2nd round, God willing, hopefully he's okay, like I said. Arizona rookie running back. Then he went with Jackson Dart and the Giants quarterbacks in the 3rd round. Josh Jacobs, the Packers running back in the 4th round. Ladd McConkey in the 5th round, I absolutely love, because this was a guy, again, he was one of my predictions last year that would have a great season. He did as a rookie, and a Chargers wide receiver in the 5th round. That's a great pickup for Ladd in the 5th round. Sam Laporta in the 6th round. That's another great pickup at the time he did out of Detroit. If he didn't do it, I was going to go and get Roma Dunze. He did in the 7th round. Chicago Bears wide receiver Rico Dowdle. He got back-to-back running backs, 8th and 9th round. Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. They were both on Carolina last year. Rico did a good job on, and I don't know why Rico is now on another team, but good for the Steelers, I guess, because Jalen Warren, I'm not believing he's going to have all the carries, but we'll see. So Rico in Pitt and then Chuba, Carolina, not bad pickups there. Matthew Golden hasn't really shown himself in Green Bay yet, wide receiver, but he got him in the 10th round. Then he got Jared Goff in the Lions quarterbacks in the 11th round, which was a great pickup. Again, to his credit, if McCauley didn't do this, I was going to go after Jake Ferguson. I let him fall a little bit. He got him in the 12th round from the Cowboys at tight end. Alvin Kamara, who God willing will be back soon from injury. He got him in the 13th round and was able to pick him up there for the New Orleans running back. Josh Downs is a guy that I covered in college, and he's a Carolina Tar Heel alum. Colts wide receiver in the 14th round. Not bad, but it's not a guy I'd probably have on my team. Romeo Doubs, wide receiver, Patriots. First year with the Patriots after being with Green Bay, I wouldn't have picked up Romeo. I mean, he could do some good things, but he's one of those guys that Jet Downs and Dubs, you're taking flyers on. In Justice Hill, Baltimore running back in the 16th round, obviously he backs up Derrick Henry. And then Harrison Mavis, Rams kicker in the 17th round, and then Rams defense in the 18th round. So there's some that are a little questionable to me, but then there's some that I really like. So Yeah, I mean, I would say health-wise, I got to give Macaulay an A- here. So Macaulay, you get an A- in the draft. Thought about giving you a B+, but I don't think that that's respectable enough to how you drafted. So I'm going to give him an A-. I got to get through these before 10:15 for our bold step forward special. So let's go to Pete Green. Bijan Robinson in the first round. For Pete, he had the number 2 overall pick. He got Bij from Atlanta, and then coming back in the snake draft at the end of the second round, he got Drake London. So he got teammates there, running back and wide receiver, respectively, from the Falcons. Then Jalen Hurts in the third round, and the Eagles quarterback. Kyron Williams, Rams running back in the fourth round. Zay Flowers in the fifth round. Love Zay, covered Zay. I had a great patch of Zay, a card that I sold, and I think I had a couple good things, good patches of Zay Flowers, but I'm a big fan of Zay Flowers at Boston College with the Ravens in general, but he also is inconsistent, which is why whenever it comes to me thinking about drafting him, I'm kind of almost hoping somebody else does so I don't have to make the choice. And Pete did in the fifth round. Kyle Pitts Sr., Atlanta tight end. Pete is a Bills fan, but he's got 3 Atlanta players in the first 6 rounds there, 50% of his first 6 picks. And then Terry McLaurin in the 7th round. Scary Terry, Commander wide receiver. That's a big get in the 7th round. Jalen Warren, again, if he ends up being the dominant guy in Pitt, that's a great pickup at running back in the 8th round. Alec Pierce, we know Alec Pierce, hopefully he'll be okay in the 9th round. He might get even more play out there because, he had a good season last season and he's trending upward. He's a guy I covered at Cincinnati. Hopefully he will be okay. 9th round, Indy wide receiver. And then Matt Stafford in the 10th round, great pickup there, team quarterback for the Rams. Kyle Monangai for Chicago. We know that he's on the injury report, but hopefully he'll be okay. 11th round at running back. He backs up DeAndre Swift, but he did some good things last year as a rookie. Jacoby Myers, Jacksonville wide receiver, good possession guy. We are a standard and PPR hybrid, which essentially translates to you score a lot of points in my league. So that's good to have a PPR guy with him, points per reception. Mark Andrews, Baltimore tight end, falling to the 13th round. I like it. Jordan Mason, Minnesota running back. I'm not sold, but 14th round, not bad. Michael Wilson, he's a sleeper guy from Arizona, but every quarterback has their guy. We'll see who likes him out there. And if Carson Beck likes him, if Jacoby Brissett likes him, we'll find out here in the coming weeks. They got him in the 15th round. Keaton Mitchell, Chargers running back who played for East Carolina, went to the Ravens and is now a Charger, 16th round. And then Cameron Dicker, Chargers kicker, and Browns defense to round things out. So, ultimately looking at this, I like the picks. I like the draft. I think the team is well balanced. So, Pete, I'm going to give you a draft grade of, it's a toss-up in Atlanta of how Atlanta's going to look, but I'm going to give you an A-. I'll give you a little A-. And then we'll go to Mark, who Mark said he has been a fan for many years, many decades of the NFL, but he's never played in a fantasy football league until now. So, Mark, the honor and the pleasure is all mine. Welcome, Mark Warner, to the league. Justin Jefferson in the first round, Minnesota wide receiver. He is a Minnesota fan. Then he got CeeDee Lamb, 2 wide receivers, Cowboys wide receiver in the second round. Then he went with Derrick Henry in the third round. Great get, Baltimore running back at the time. Then he went with the Vikings team quarterback, which is truly a team quarterback. I think Kyler Murray and JJ will both play this season. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully they both stay healthy and it's a decision by the coaching staff and not by an injury. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Definitely. And these guys have both been through adversity, so I'm hoping the best for them by the grace of God. Javonte Williams, Dallas running back. I would have went there. He went there first, 5th round. Love it. TJ Hawkinson, Minnesota tight end. In the first 6 rounds, he went with 3 Minnesota players, so 50% of the time. David Montgomery, who's in Houston now, who was a great 1-2 punch with Detroit. I can't believe Detroit would let him go, but maybe he could be the guy in Houston at running back, 7th round. I love it. And if he can continue the workload there. Devontae Adams, Rams wide receiver in the 8th round. Not a bad bet here. Devontae's been around the block, so I kind of toyed with, should I go, should I not? And then he got Brock Purdy in the Niners team quarterback in the 9th round as his backup. Kenneth Gainwell, Tampa Bay running back. He was with the Eagles for a long time. That's a loaded backfield. Bucky Irving, Sean Tucker. So, we'll see what happens with Gainwell. if they involve him in the pass game or whatever. So that's 10th round. Jordan Tyson, hopefully he'll be healthy. New Orleans wide receiver and rookie. In the 11th round, J.K. Dobbins, Denver running back in the 12th round, who's going to split time with R.J. Harvey. Cooper Kupp, I have no idea why Cooper Kupp's fallen off the face of the earth in fantasy, but Seattle wide receiver, and I mean ranking-wise. I don't mean playing-wise. So 13th round, I love it. Brenton Strange, thinking about getting my Jaguars tight end. He got him instead in the 14th round. Ray Davis, Buffalo running back, behind James Cook in the 15th round. Jaden Reed, Green Bay wide receiver. He fought himself by taking a Green Bay guy, but he finally did in the 16th round of 18 rounds because he is a Viking fan, and obviously they're divisional foes. And then he took Will Richard, Minnesota kicker, and he took the Minnesota defense. So ultimately, he has, of his 18 picks, 5 of them from his Minnesota Vikings team that he loves so very much. So, Mark, I'm going to look at this, and because some guys have changed places here, and there's some question marks on what's going to happen, I'm going to say for Mark, I'm going to give you a... I'm going to give you a solid B in the draft. I'm going to give you a solid B in this draft. Got to go to 2 more quick here. And so my next one is Paul. Let's go to Paul's team. Jahmyr Gibbs in the 1st round, Detroit running back. A.J. Brown, New England wide receiver in the 2nd round. That could be really good, or could have been too high. Drake May, New England team quarterback in the 3rd round. I like it. Malik Neighbors, a healthy Malik Neighbors is a good Malik Neighbors. He's got help now at wide receiver with him with the Giants. He got him in the 4th round. Brock Bowers, Vegas Raiders tight end in the 5th round. That's a shout out to the Boom, Chris Berman. Whenever I do that, credit to the Boom. Brock Bowers in the 5th round. Love it. T. Higgins, Cincinnati wide receiver in the 6th round. T had a good season last season. Jalen Waddle, while he works in Denver now, he's got a good moving offense with Bobo Nix. 7th round could work out really well. He went with big name wide receivers that are switching teams in A.J. Brown and in Jalen Waddle. Tony Pollard, 8th round, Tennessee running back. You know, Tennessee, their running back situation hasn't been great since they let Derrick Henry go. George Kittle in the 9th round as a backup tight end for San Fran. I like it. Blake Corum, Rams running back in the 10th round behind Kyron Williams. We'll see how that shakes out. He got Pat Mahomes in the 11th round at quarterback, which was fantastic. Stephon Diggs, Washington, another wide receiver, big name that changed teams. We'll see what that looks like. Mike Washington Jr. of the Raiders. This looks like a smart pick with the injury to Ashton Gentry in the 13th round. And Mike, coming from CNS, sat right next to me in the Wake Up Call studio many times. He's been on the show for many years, and I think he owes me a phone call. Wendell Robinson Jr., Tennessee wide receiver in the 14th round. He switched from the Giants. Tank Bigsby, Philadelphia, running back in the 15th round, last running back that he took. Chris Godwin Jr., Tampa wide receiver without having Mike Evans there now. That's a big pickup, and he's obviously there with Emeka Ibuka, who could be the number one, is probably the number 1 guy right now. That's in the 16th round. Brandon Aubrey, Dallas kicker, and Patriots defense and special teams. So I feel good about giving Paul an A- in the draft. And then we're going to go to Paul's son, Landon, really quick here as we get set to welcome our new segment in our partnership with the Big West, our inaugural Bold Step Forward segment. Let's go to Landon's team really quick here. Landon is a Bills fan. He got Josh Allen in the 1st round, the first quarterback off the board, and the 3rd overall pick. Amarian Hampton, Chargers running back in the 2nd round, had some good moments. We'll see if he gets the lion's share of the carries and, God willing, stays healthy. Nico Collins in the 3rd round. Love it. Houston, a guy that's healthy. Dominant guy with the Texans, getting the ball from C.J. Stroud. Teteroa McMillan in the 4th round. Love this pick. Carolina wide receiver. Colston Loveland, Chicago, tight end in the 5th round. Love that pick. Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay running back in the 6th round. Love that pick. Jamison Williams, Detroit wide receiver, falling in the 7th round. Smart. Luther Burden, a 3rd, Chicago wide receiver. I'm not sold yet, but in the 8th round could be a steal. Tucker Kraft, backup tight end from Green Bay in the 9th round. Good play there. Garrett Wilson fell all the way to the 10th round. Jets wide receiver. That could be huge depending on who gets the ball out and if they like Garrett Wilson. Bears team quarterback as your backup quarterback with Caleb Williams in the 11th round. I love that because he could be a starter. In my opinion, I almost drafted him as my number 1 quarterback. He got him in the 11th round. Xavier Worthy, Kansas City wide receiver. We'll see. Kansas City's wide receivers, the inconsistency of where the ball goes. The team moves forward, but fantasy-wise, it's hard to say there's a dominant Kansas City wide receiver besides tight end Travis Kelce of many years. Woody Marks in Houston. banking on the fact that he'll get some time with David Montgomery, 13th round. And then Isaiah Pacheco, Detroit running back, going from Kansas City to Detroit. It's really, and so now he's going to be working with Jahmyr Gibbs, 14th round. I think he'll get some pub there. Tajay Spears, Tennessee, could be him or Pollard, 15th round. That's a good 50-50 ball to get that late. Tyrone Tracy Jr., if he catches out of the backfield and works with Scadaboo well, that could help you out in the 16th round. Jason Myers, Seattle kicker, and Eagles defense. I got to give Landon an A here. So his dad's probably going to be mad, but I'm giving Landon an A when I gave his dad an A-. I like it, Landon. So with that being said, those are my draft grades. We'll take a quick step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll head out to the West Coast with our bold step forward. And why did I wear this Broncos jersey today? Because I drafted Bo Nix. And I do want to shout out my grandfather, my Papa Cavino. It's August 26th. Happy birthday to one of the greatest people that has ever lived. I love you dearly. We'll be back with the Big West right after this.
Hi, this is Chris Rauda.
And Colleen Rakowski from Gray's Craze of Clay.
It's a fun, innovative, upscale catering solution. We've turned eating into a whole new experience. Each of our boards is packed with delicious mix of artisan cheeses. We use premium cured meats, fresh fruits, nuts, and all of the sweet touches that really bring out the best in every perfect bite.
We offer something as small as a grab and go that feeds 1, maybe 2 people, to our large board that can serve anywhere up to 25, 28 people. So we have the ability to really meet and hopefully exceed all of our customers' expectations when it comes to the different varieties of things that we have.
Charcuterie boards or boxes are healthy, fresh, delicious. They're made to order. We're baking the breads here daily. We're baking the cookies here daily. All of our dips are homemade, made in-house. All of our spreads are all made in-house.
When you open that board or box that we have delivered or you have picked up, we want you to know that it was made with care and designed to completely elevate your event, celebration, or meeting.
We've catered parties and events for up to 300 people. So if you're walking in to grab something for lunch or something for date night or movie night, that's great too. Our events go from you eating in the car on the way home to a catering event in a rehearsal dinner or cocktail hour or party.
When we do, again, know what the event is, specifically for a wedding, we like to schedule tastings so the bride and groom can come in and see what we have to offer, and we can then, as we talk, to try to understand what they're looking for, what the venue's like. We do like to have that one-on-one interaction when it comes to catering bigger events.
Our address is 4599 State Route 31, Suite 5, in Clay, New York. We're on the corner of Route 31 and Henry Clay at Clay Marketplace.
You can order on the phone by calling area code 315-409-4171 or online at grayscraze.com/clay-ny. Come visit us at Gray's Craze of Clay, New York,
where we want you to celebrate everything.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food at our pizza pub. That was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch. but we're going to have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you could rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on weck pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
Big West, only the bold.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios for an all-new segment, an inaugural episode of what we call the Bold Step Forward. In our partnership that is multi-layered with the Big West Conference in its entirety, we have stepped out into something completely innovative, original, creative, and unlike anything you've seen across this country when it comes to college athletics. And a portion of that Bold Step Forward will come to you once a month, featuring the Big West Conference Commissioner, Dan Butterly. This is our first ever episode, so welcome to history. Dan, welcome to the show.
Dan, always a pleasure to be on. I've loved watching the first few interviews that you've done this month, and excited what the year will bring.
I'm very excited about this as well. And I do want to say this about what I've seen. Obviously, in partnering with the Big West, I'm paying close attention to everything that's going on. And I love how much you put yourself out there. And I love how the graphics and everything are put together. Just the constant staying top of mind with everybody, coming up on my feed all the time and seeing that there's a message from you with, you know, each piece of what's going on. I just think it's incredible how consistent, how clear, and how dedicated this message is. So I do want to give you credit and your office credit for doing what you've done, because almost every single day I'm seeing something from the Big West, which shows me that not only is information coming out, but you're making sure that people are able to access it pretty easily.
No, Dan, absolutely. Being bold, in my opinion, is also being honest and transparent. And I think there's not enough transparency in college athletics. And I'm excited to continue to put some messages out there to celebrate our student athletes, our teams, our programs, our institutions, and type in the bold type every week. It's sometimes a challenge, but obviously the academic year is underway, so the content will free flow here pretty quick.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, the bold type and having that out there. What made you want to do something of that, to have this consistent message approach and to be a part of that message? You know, with some leadership out there, something's written for them, it's put out, but you're very much a part of this. And like you said, you know, it could take time to get it out there, but you've dedicated yourself to it. So why choose to do the bold type, and why put yourself in a situation where you have to have that, you know, constant connection with the community?
Well, more than anything, Dan, the bold type comes from what I call This Week in the Big West. And This Week in the Big West is a weekly blog that I send out. I script and write myself. I send out to our member institutions. It goes out early Friday morning. I usually work on it Thursday, also really early AM on Friday, as news may come in overnight. Then send it out on Friday. So that This Week in the Big West, I created probably about 5 years ago now, probably 5 years ago this November. To try to communicate, to try to provide more information, particularly between league meetings, to our membership. There's so much stuff going on at that time via COVID, via the Constitution overhaul for the NCAA, the governance overhaul. There's always stuff going on within the NCAA that people have questions on. So writing This Week in the Big West goes out Friday to our presidents, our chancellors, our athletic directors, our senior administrators, faculty rep, and a few other VIPs. Get that every week. And then over the weekend, Jessica Lance, our chief communications officer, looks at This Week in the Big West, takes out some of the information she doesn't think would be pertinent to the public, and then she sends it to me to take a look at, and I then read through it, make some edits to it, change the open a bit, then we publish that on Monday morning. So that's more public facing, but again, trying to educate those that don't get This Week in the Big West as to what's going on in the Big West, celebrating the great successes of our student athletes, of our teams, but also informing them, again, what's going on behind the scenes a little bit in NCAA athletics and what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So it is a labor of love. I try to keep it to about 3,000 words per week. Sometimes I've gotten up to 7,000 words in a specific week, depending on what's going on. So my English professors and my high school English teachers should be proud of the fact that I use the writing abilities that they taught me while in school.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, putting out all this information, I mean, I'm looking at one of the examples right now, the bold type, and so many different elements to the conference itself, as well as to what's going on around the country. One of the things that I loved, and getting to know your personality, and you and I spending time together and visiting on and off the air, I read this the way that I feel like you said it, where it was real and it was truly what you were saying, but also a little sarcasm where it says if you can't get enough of the Protect College Sports Act, here are all 14 amendments, many of which were filed late in the process. So let's go to that. The Protect College Sports Act, we know that it's not passed. We know it's not dead in the water. We know that the SCORE Act came before it, and that did not get pushed through Congress and ended up falling. Now the Protect College Sports Act is here, but it wasn't approved. But now there's an opportunity for September being something that could get on the docket of the Senate, and then it would still have to go to the House of Representatives. Where are things in protecting student athletes right now?
Well, I think more than anything, obviously the Protect College Sports Act is the next version of what the NCAA has been trying to do. President Baker and his staff, as well as conference commissioners and others that are actively involved in college athletics, we can't keep working and managing the way we are right now. Continued lawsuits continue to get thrown against the NCAA. We try to develop policies and procedures that are better for student athletes. We passed legislation a few years ago in the NCAA that improved student athlete well-being, student athlete services, opportunities for student athletes, and then all of a sudden, name, image, likeness is created for student athletes as part of legal settlements. And I think we're headed down the right path. But obviously, there's the challenges that lawsuits continue to throw against us as part of the new eligibility model, what's called the age-based eligibility model. The NCAA has put forth something that makes perfect sense in the current environment in college athletics. In high school, you get 4 years. In college athletics now, you get 5 years to compete. But there's those that in the legal system are continuing to throw up the challenges, continue to throw up lawsuits against it. Those student athletes that maybe on their wanting a 6th year or 7th year to play college athletics to potentially make some money in rev share and name, image, and likeness. That's what college athletics wasn't created for 6 and 7 years. It was created as part of the academic mission of institutions to provide sports and competitive sports in the college athletic setting. So this current age-based eligibility model works, but the challenges are continuing to be thrown. Legal lawsuits against it. Legislation now is being crafted to try to protect what the NCAA is trying to do. Obviously, as you said, the Protect College Sports Act didn't get voted on in the Senate. So we're hopeful that when the Senate comes back from recess, that there will be a vote on the merits of the bill, of the act in that respect. In my personal opinion, I think the act was better before all the adjustments were made to it, just before it got put onto the Senate to take a look at. But obviously right now, it's going to be a challenge, Dan. In my opinion, I think there's going to be challenges to the act being voted upon by the Senate here by the end of September. And then we get into the midterm elections. Then if it does pass the Senate, as you said, it goes to the House. The House of Representatives is going to go through midterm elections. That could change. So timing-wise, it'll be very interesting to see. I'm hopeful the Senate votes on it. Then it'll be interesting to see what the House does at that point.
Yeah, and one of the things that I saw is it's called the Protect College Sports Act, and it's supposed to protect women's sports, Olympic sports, protect against agents and nefarious play there, the 5-and-5 rule, 5 years of eligibility instead of 4, and having the exceptions only be religious vocation, military obligation, or maternity leave. So looking at those pieces of it, as well as bonding, transfer old rules to transfer new rules, where first time you transfer, you can play immediately. Anytime after that, you have to sit out a year. So all those things seem to make sense. But as you talk about these amendments and these different things that have come up, now I see, well, on top of the House settlement money, now you could spend up to this. So now you could spend 40-something. Why is the Protect College Sports Act throwing more money at a system that is burning the money? So easy. I mean, to me, we're playing with monopoly money. And one of the most recent things I saw with the Protect College Sports Act was that now it's about freeing up more money for institutions to spend more on their players, which to me is the exact opposite of what we're trying to protect. So that kind of confused me.
Yeah, it confused a lot of people, I think, Dan, in that respect. Obviously, the SEC and the Big Ten have significantly more resources than the rest of Division I athletics. In that respect, I can assure you, the Big West will be nowhere near $48 million in rev share. We don't make that much. Our athletic programs don't spend that much in college athletics. So to be in a position that, the thresholds are that high, we've really created a system that the SEC, the Big Ten can go out and pay as much as they want for players in that respect. And that's a challenge to most of the rest of Division I as we recruit high school student athletes. We develop these student athletes, provide them the resources, the scholarships, the education, the training, the coaching, everything else to showcase their talents in Division I. And then ultimately the SEC and the Big Ten can come in and make significant offers to those student athletes. That's where the transfer portal, I saw a student athlete today that is going to play for his 5th institution in 5 years. I wonder what his education looks like at this point, if he's going to be on track to graduate in those 5 years. I'm hopeful that's the case. I don't know enough about the student athlete to track that person's transcripts at this point. But obviously, I have great concern, and I think that's where the Protect College Sports Act does help. With an open transfer portal, the issues such as a student athlete playing 5 different institutions in 5 years will continue to be out there. But with this legislation, allowing for a one-time transfer makes some sense. All of us, I transferred while I was in college from one Division I institution to another. That makes sense to do it once, but to do it that many times doesn't make sense. To allow that student athlete an opportunity to transfer a second time but have to sit out, I think puts a little bit of a pause in that respect, potentially slows down the thinking process relative to unlimited transfers that we're currently under the model now. And, I'd like to be in a position, Dan, truly to be in a position that we set these policies and procedures moving forward, and then we settle down for a few years to understand where we are in college athletics, to understand, to allow our programs to adjust to the new models, and then potentially make adjustments. Give us a few years to really settle in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incredibly important, like you said, and it plays right into one of the quotes that you put in the bold type, which is by David G. Allen, which states, "Patience is the calm acceptance that things can happen in a different order than the one you have in your mind," end quote. To say a little bit more about that, as we're talking about all of this, you wanting to calm down, you wanting there to be patience with the process, and then once the process finally comes through with what the plan is, to relax for a little bit and take some time. So once again, patience is the calm acceptance that things can happen in a different order than the one you have in your mind. What does that mean to you, and how does that play into where we're at in collegiate athletics?
I think what it means right now is patience is missing in many ways in college athletics. The processes and the procedures. The legislation's been drafted. I've been a part of that on the NCAA Division I cabinet, a part of that on the Men's Basketball Oversight Committee. I believe in what we're doing in the NCAA. I believe what Charlie Baker is trying to do is trying to develop a path for all of us moving forward to allow all these great benefits that have been provided for student athletes to exist in this current model. But we've got to be able to stop all the lawsuits that are being thrown into state courts. I think there's so many lawyers, I won't say so many, there's certain lawyers right now that continue to look at the opportunities that are available for student athletes, but see gaps that they want to try to develop a group of student athletes, those that are out there trying to get 5, 6, 7 years of eligibility in college athletics, and then throw lawsuits against the NCAA to try to find a path to make that happen in many ways. And then again, in that process, taking money from student athletes if they win those cases. So very similar to agents. Agents, I think, have gotten out of control in college athletics. They really control the student athlete recruiting process, and they're taking significant money from student athletes. That's one of the things I like about the Protect College Sports Act, is to limit their capability to, probably the average 3 to 5% commission instead of the 20 to 50% we're hearing on some of these agents making some money in that space. So what I'm looking at, what that means is there's no patience. Everything that we try to develop for the betterment of college athletics continues to be challenged. And right now, we just, in my opinion, again, I'd like to be able to settle in here and really see what we've got versus continually every day, every hour, seeing to throw a new legal thing against the NCAA.
Yeah, and there has to be rules, like you said, there has to be rules that we set and that we keep, because without that, where are we? And that's the question that I continue to ask myself, is if there are no parameters, if there are no clear-cut rules, and what happens if the rule is broken? How do you implement the rule? The NCAA is losing cases hand over fist, and we've seen players that are 11 years in, 9 years in. We've heard from players that publicly have stated, I've been in school for 5 years and I don't even have a bachelor's degree. So there's something. And where do you go? When you have your 10-year reunion and you've been to 5 schools in 5 years, who do you belong to? So there's a lot of things that we are not teaching young people, and there's a lot of things that we are teaching them incorrectly. And I think that we have to be very cognizant of how these student athletes are being used to make money and build up schools, but then abused in the fact that they might be no better off intellectually, experience-wise, with knowledge or wisdom once they're done in school. And so that to me is incredibly important, which leads me into, what is the Big West doing from your office to put the student athlete first, to make sure that they are educated, they have knowledge, they have experience, and that they are in this college time of their life gaining something before they step to the next chapter?
Well, Dan, one of the things I've seen since I took the commissioner job back in May of 2020 with the Big West is I've often referred to the Big West as the Ivy League of the West in that respect. I mean, the UC institutions, University of California institutions that we've had in the league, UC Santa Barbara, UC San Diego, UC Irvine, just to name 3, are rated in the top 8 in the country when it comes to public universities in level of education, academics, all the resources that go in the U.S. News and World Report, opportunities there. And as we look ahead, those are the things that we have to continue to focus on. College athletics in the Big West is part of the academic mission of our institutions. We want to graduate our student athletes. I often had Wes Millett, who used to be the athletic director at UC Riverside, ask about what our North Star is in the Big West. And my North Star has always been about the student athletes and their experience in the Big West. If we can provide top-notch championships, a great experience during the regular season, and a great education, most of the student athletes in the Big West, that's what they want. They're not looking at the massive amount of money that may be out there. They want a great education. They're looking at 4 years of a great education, a great experience for 40 to 50 years the rest of their life in that respect. And that's what college athletics should be about. As you talk about the money that's out there, there's only 2 or 3, maybe 4 conferences that have the money to be able to get to the levels that we're talking about that are now in the Protect College Sports Act. Maybe it's time for those conferences to do their own thing and let the rest of Division I do what we do best, and that's educate and provide an amazing experience for our student athletes.
Well, and you lead into something that you and I have spoken about before, and a prediction that I made. Like you said, you became the commissioner of the Big West in 2020. Back in 2020, 2021, I started to speak on the prediction that the SEC was putting themselves in position to go and start their own league. I believe that the Big Ten, in getting the West Coast schools and negotiating their new TV deal for $8 billion, put them in a position to go with the SEC. And if they could pull a Clemson, Florida State, Miami, Notre Dame, that would be whatever this new league was going to turn into. I had stated before this, many years ago, with then Commissioner John Swofford of the ACC, that autonomy was not a mistake in the term that they picked when the Pac-12 at the time, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, and the ACC, and now is all four of them sans the Pac-12, that they had chosen the word autonomy, self-governing, so that they could essentially tell the NCAA, we're here for as long as we want to be here, but we don't need to be here. So that plays into what you just said. Does the SEC and the Big Ten with Notre Dame, or does the entire autonomy group essentially, in your mind, that is focused on, and not all of them, I know the ACC constantly, and I know Jim Phillips very well, talks very much about education and bucks the trend of what's going on with other autonomy group members, so to speak. But do you see a world where SEC, Big Ten are separate from the rest of Division One? Do you see a world where the entire autonomy group of 4 conferences are separate from the other 20 plus? How do you see this panning out if it does become about the money and it does become less about education, more about directly paying players? Do you think there will be a divide in Division One?
Yeah, now I was part of a committee. There was what they call the NACTA, 1AAA Athletic Directors Association, the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics. It's a major consortium of athletic directors, commissioners, leaders in the industry. I was part of a 1AAA, which is Non-Football Athletic Directors Association committee that looked at, and it was FCS, which is the non-FBS portion of football. FCS is the football level that the NCAA controls in Division One. FBS is outside of the NCAA control in this respect. But we looked at, as the NCAA was looking at new governance models a couple of years ago, we did a deep dive as to the future of what Division One could look like as we put together a model for the future. And what we called it internally was Division One Commercial Division and Division One Education Division, or Academic Division, however you want to look at it in that respect. So you could look at the autonomy conferences that have the significant monies available from their TV contracts, from the college football playoff, the monies that come into them that we do not have as part of the 1AAA non-football levels in that respect. That you could separate those into Division One and still meet for Division One championships. The NCAA tournament, basketball championships, would still be able to compete at the current 76, still have automatic qualifications. It may provide even more intrigue to the NCAA tournament, the David's birth of the Goliath, as they say. But we looked at various models, and I know the NCAA looked at various models when they came up with this governance system. So there are opportunities, there are options to consider in the future, and could be closer future than what may be being discussed right now as we continue to look at the significant monies that are available at that highest level of Division One right now.
So for you, with FBS, like you said, functioning on its own, the college football playoff really running football, are we in a place where you believe if the FBS were to go on its own, could there still be, and you being on the men's basketball oversight committee, would the NCAA tournament still feature all 30 plus conferences, or do you think the NCAA tournament loses the SEC, the Big Ten, whomever?
That's a great question. And it's one that everybody, I think every commissioner is right now looking at 2032. That's the last year the NCAA currently has a contract through with CBS and Turner Sports. It's an extremely important contract as Division One, as the NCAA continues to move forward. I think absolutely there's that opportunity for football to separate outside of the current structure of the NCAA. The NCAA does not run FBS football. They do not run the college football playoff. But it seems that all the legal, the lawsuits that are thrown forth against the NCAA. Most of that, a lot of that is due to the monies that are available at the college football playoff level, that FBS, the highest level of FBS level at this point. So that's the challenge I think that exists, is how can we separate college football entirely from the NCAA and let the NCAA run all the rest of the championships in college sports, which they do an exceptional job at in all of their Division I, Division II, and Division III sports, is running championships. It's the primary function of the NCAA, and they do an amazing job doing that. I think if we could find a way to separate college football and take those financial and legal risks outside of the NCAA, I think that could be the path that we need to strongly consider moving forward.
Yeah, and like you said, interesting how the college football playoff is running football, but the NCAA is paying the price when it comes to the lawsuits. So just an interesting loophole there of how the NCAA doesn't get to have a say, but then has to pay the piper when it comes back, with any legal issues or anything like that. So in taking a bold step forward with the Big West, with all of this national crisis going on in collegiate athletics and the chaos that you and I have spoken about before, what can you say about the beacon that the Big West is trying to be, not just for your institutions, but to the rest of the conferences across America? What are you doing as the Big West to be bold and to move forward instead of taking steps backward?
Well, I don't think, that's the thing. I don't think we're sitting tight and just, letting this thing ride out. We're trying to get in front of it. It changes by the hour, changes by the day. Continue to educate and keep our institutions informed, particularly our presidents and chancellors, which makes up our board of directors, and our directors of athletics. I'm in frequent communication with them as to what the current statuses are, what's happening in the legal and legislative environment in that respect as it happens. And obviously, as it happens, could be hourly, it could be daily, it could be weekly in that respect. But we continue to ebb and flow. We continue to talk and communicate. Obviously, we do not have the financial resources that many conferences do have. So we really rely upon what works best for us, what works right for us in the West, what works right for the 10 institutions, and the path that they want to chart moving forward in college athletics and what they want of the Big West. Ultimately, they make the decisions. Our institutions, ultimately our board of directors makes the decisions. And my role as the conference commissioner is to enforce the policies and procedures put forth by membership. But I've got to educate. I've got to try to guide them through the challenges that have existed. There's been many challenges since I came on board in May of 2020, starting with COVID. So we continue to work well together, continue to communicate well together, and ultimately we'll continue to be in that defensive stance, as they say in college basketball, not knowing for sure which way the ball will go, but we've got to make sure we go where the ball is and see if that's the direction we want to go in the Big West.
That coming here from the commissioner of the Big West, Dan Butterly, in our inaugural episode of Bold Step Forward, a once-a-month opportunity to hear from the commissioner of the Big West in our multimedia marketing partnership with the Big West here on Wake Up Call, unlike anything you are seeing or have seen around the country in collegiate athletics. Before I let you go, Dan, to look at a few things of note that have happened here, and one of them you were talking about speaking with the members of the Big West. One of the guests on the show here in our first month of partnering together, Cal Poly President Jeffrey Armstrong. He is also the chair of the board of the Big West, of the membership that you have. What can you say about working with Jeffrey Armstrong, what the back and forth is like, and just what it means to have him as the chair of the board currently in the Big West?
I think President Armstrong is probably the longest tenured president in the Big West, probably right there with Chancellor Gilman at UC Irvine. He's a delight to work with. He is innovative in his approach. He definitely is one, as we've developed our bold initiatives. I think Jeff is extremely bold at Cal Poly. He's brought on new sports relative to flag football and stunt. The first Big West institution to add flag football. And obviously he's extremely excited about the potential of the Big West trying to add flag football down the road here. So he definitely is one that wants to challenge the leadership in the Big West. So I think he'll make a great chair during the 26-27 academic year with all the things that are going on in the NCAA. I'm excited to see his interview and see what he says about the Big West, about Cal Poly and all the great things that they have going on there. But I'm looking forward to his leadership this year. We've had some amazing chairs of our board of directors since I came on board in 2020, and I'm looking forward to his leadership in the year ahead.
Well, and you mentioned it, women's flag football not only has become a thing in high schools, but become a thing now in colleges at all different levels and being embraced by Division I institutions right now on the East Coast and the West Coast and throughout this country. So what does that mean to you that Cal Poly is now sponsoring that sport for women's flag football? And do you see a future, a potential future for women's flag football in the Big West with your membership? Do you see this as a real possibility?
I think Jeff sees the future of college athletics in many ways, and he sees that the participation numbers in high school, particularly in the state of California for flag football, are exceptionally strong. There's not a lot of programs that have been developed out west yet. I think it's a sport that will grow. I think the current legal and legislative environment in college athletics may slow the growth of flag football. I think many programs in the West probably would have considered it, but right now, again, using the defensive stance situation, not knowing what resources and what monies you may need to put forth in your program to be able to remain competitive in Division I think that's going to stall a little bit the development of flag football across the country, particularly among mid and low major programs, because of the fact that they just don't know where the resources are going to come to launch those programs, whether that means you're going to have to cut other sports to add that sport, and that's going to be an institution by institution decision in that respect. You have to look at the future of sports, which sports have strong participation numbers right now in the youth and collegiate or the youth and high school levels that will grow into the next wave of collegiate student athletes. That's again where I think Cal Poly got in front of it because Jeff sees that. But whether those institutions in the Big West, in the West Coast Conference, in the Big Sky, in the Pac-12, in the Mountain West, all of us programs out west will have the resource to either look at a program, an athletic program, in that way to adjust their sport profiles and their sports sponsorship to add flag football or develop the monies that it will take to launch that flag football program are going to be, I think, the challenges ahead.
I do want to also make a note here before you and I play some rapid fire that since the last time we spoke, Cal State Fullerton has found their leader in Shondell Reed as their new director of athletics. Just what that means to you and what you can say about the new leadership coming to Fullerton.
Well, obviously, I welcome Shondell in many ways. I actually met with him for a couple hours in Colorado Springs before his interview. Strangely enough, the Big West staff retreat was at Cal State Fullerton at the same time the athletic director candidates were interviewing. So it was kind of a unique situation for us to be able to see a couple of the candidates that were being interviewed. But I met Shondell, walked him through the Big West, talked to him about Cal State Fullerton. In that respect, I'm excited to see his leadership moving forward, particularly at the places he's been here at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs at the University of Washington. So I think he'll bring some new innovation to the Big West in that respect based upon where he's been. I'm obviously going to miss Jim Donovan. Jim's been a fantastic leader at Cal State Fullerton. I've known Jim for almost 2 decades at this point, from his time at Hawaii and my time in the Mountain West to the time he's been at Cal State Fullerton. So I'm going to miss Jim's leadership and being in the room, in the athletic director room, in many, many ways, because Jim's been a great and bold leader, not afraid to say what he feels. And I think that's what sometimes misses in the athletic director room is that voice. So I'm excited to see Shondell, see what he's going to do at Cal State Fullerton, and see what he's going to do to help grow the Big West moving forward.
And I have to say this to you as well, because this is weird to me. How has soccer started? It's like before kids are back on campus, we have soccer seasons now for men's and women's soccer. I'm like, do they get a summer? Do they get time off? So what is it like for you to see fall sports already in action and to see student athletes on the pitch? I mean, it feels like they should have another 2-3 weeks and whatnot. And here I am seeing the Big West has already chosen their athletes of the week when it comes to the sport of soccer. And to me, it's thrown me off of where is the summer anymore. But then at the same time, it's exciting because there's sports back. So what can you say to the fact that soccer just seems to be creeping, all the way to that early part of August, mid part of August that we're already seeing it?
Yeah, it's great for the student athletes in that respect. I mean, obviously they love their sport. It provides a little bit more time for them to prepare for games in that respect. So instead of trying to crunch seasons from the 3rd week of August to the last week of October, trying to get all those games in, it provides a little bit more breathing room for women's soccer. And in men's soccer right now, Dan is looking at a year-round model that may go from fall all the way to the spring in that respect. So it definitely, the dynamics are changing. I think it's more of an impact on the administration and coaches than maybe the student athletes. I think the student athletes and coaches probably would like a little bit more, but administration, it provides a little less time for a breath in June and July for the personal development, professional development that you need to gain during the summer to be able to see people, attend the conventions, learn what's new in college athletics, to be able to take a breath maybe for a week. In that respect, it really has narrowed that window down a bit. But for our student athletes, I'm excited to watch them compete, because that's what the Big West is about, providing those opportunities, getting them on the pitch early, watching them compete, and then watching them get their education and walk across that stage to graduation.
Inaugural episode of Bold Step Forward. Once a month, you will see Commissioner Dan Butterly here on Wake Up Call in our multimedia marketing partnership with the entire Big West Conference. Dan, let's do some rapid fire. We've done it before. You get the first question when you have.
The first question, I'd like to know, Dan, what's what you're seeing in college athletics. What's your opinion right now is of the current dynamic in college athletics?
I think we keep throwing more and more money at a system that should not have been based in money in the first place. I genuinely feel like we have decided that the only way to fix it is to throw more money at it, and I think it's monopoly money at this point. It might as well be pink and blue and all these different colors, because is it even real? It's not sustainable. I said this years ago, that you cannot sustain this model where you're going to say you could spend up to $20.5 million and then every year we're going to increase it by a certain percentage, and now it's 21.3, and what's it going to be after that? And now with the Protect College Sports Act, let's put another 27 million on top of that, and let's make it 48. I mean, it just sounds ridiculous. So, I mean, I would say student athletes should have an avenue to make money, but it should be what name, image, and likeness was supposed to be, which is you become your own brand. You create your own small business, essentially. I have offered the opportunity of my services to go out to different conferences when student athletes are going to be there, be it a kickoff or a media day for basketball or whatever. I have offered the opportunity or thought of the opportunity to say to the Big West, to say to whatever conference is out there, when you have your student athletes from all your membership schools under one roof, give me an hour within the scheduling and I will talk with them about branding and name, image, and likeness. I built my entire company before NIL was named. I've built my entire company on me being the brand being me, and I don't think the education is there. I think we need to get back to the model of traditional name, image, and likeness. Again, it came out, it went so fast, and nobody really had time to learn about it or understand it. So let's educate what it means to brand yourself. Let's educate on attaching yourself to a business and not just taking money from anybody. Let's educate writing, understanding, and implementing contracts. And let's truly give the student athlete an opportunity to make money as opposed to being paid directly, which is not an education, and it is not the model that collegiate athletics was meant to be. If we keep going down this road and we make it all about the money, money is the root of all evil. Money is something you cannot take to heaven. I'm not surprised that God doesn't allow you to bring a briefcase of money to heaven. And so I think we need to remember why we're in the room in the first place, which is to give these kids an opportunity to go from their parents' house to on their own. The bridge in the middle gives them the feeling of being on their own without having all the responsibility yet. Let's utilize this bridge, because without this bridge, if we blow it up, they will not know how to take care of themselves from being 18 years old to thrown into the wild. College was meant to teach. It was meant to be a bridging of two things. Mom and dad take care of me, I take care of myself. If we do not bridge it, and we don't have the patience with it, and we don't have the fostering of the growth of it, we are going to put people in society that have no idea how to handle themselves. We are going to deteriorate society if we continue to deteriorate collegiate athletics. The NCAA, College Football Playoff, and everyone involved, the CSC, all need to understand what we do with our children in these coming years will have an immediate and positive or negative effect on the culture of the United States of America. And we need to take that seriously.
Exceptionally well said, Dan. I couldn't have said it better myself. You I think nailed so many things in your mention there. And part of the thing you didn't mention, obviously you talked about NIL and the monies, the $21 to $48 million in here. That's not talking about tuition, room and board, cost of attendance, Alston monies, books, all the athletic training, medical services, coaching, development, all the other things that college athletics is part of athletic department budgets that most of Division One struggles to be able to maintain the budgets they currently have.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Thank you. And it's not sustainable. My question back to you, Dan, if you and I were to take a road trip with our Big West partnership with Wake Up Call, and we could broadcast the Big West from 5 international countries, 5 international cities within those countries, what city and what country would you choose? If we had 5, where are the 5 locations for the Big West on the road?
I think, we talked about soccer a little bit ago. So I think we got to hit multiple continents, Dan, in that respect. I mean, UC Irvine men's basketball is currently playing in China on a summer tour, playing exceptionally well in China on a summer tour. So I think we go to Beijing or Shanghai in that respect. I think we got to hit Europe. So again, we look at the soccer model. Maybe we go to England or Germany, where soccer is so doggone strong. Spain in that respect. I'm just saying one of those 3, not all of them. So maybe it's Barcelona. We hit Southern Europe in that respect. We got to hit South Africa. We hit Africa to get that part of it. We've got to hit maybe Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, or somewhere down there again to spread the benefits of college athletics, to talk about the fact that the Big West is great in so many Olympic sports. We compete for national championships, and we are so diverse in our culture in the Big West, in our athletic programs in the Big West, that we pretty much hit all of these continents and countries with our student athletes in the Big West. I think it's a big road show, but it's an aggressive road show in that respect. And then obviously we've got to hit somewhere in the United States, and I think we head to DC, and you and I start talking about what true college athletics should be about.
Well, that would be a bold trip, and I'm willing to take it. So what is your next question for me?
My next question for you. So what sports did you play growing up, and which sports would you have potentially been good at in college athletics?
Great question. I've thought about it. I played basketball organized since 7 years old. I still shoot. And I tell people this, and I have a witness to many years of doing this in multiple gyms in my hometown of Syracuse, New York, down in Florida on an outdoor court. I have stated, if you give me at any given time 5 half-court shots, I will make one of them. I have made my first and my second to many of these times where I've had a witness. I made my 5th on the outdoor court, and outdoor courts are hard to shoot on because of just the weirdness of the rim and being outside. So I have proven that over the years. And I also beat Syracuse's winningest player, most wins in 4 years at Syracuse, Brandon Trish. I beat him in half-court knockout. That was filmed. So I will say that basketball continues to be my love. I do say to my parents, though, I'm 5'8". So if I was on the soccer field, I'm perfect height. And I'm Italian and I'm Spanish. Why did you not put me at a soccer camp? Now, it wasn't what it used to be, or like it wasn't what it is now in America and whatnot, and what my godson has, and the year-round part of it. But I think if I played soccer and really dedicated myself to it, I think there's a shot with this Italian Hispanic blood that I might have ended up somewhere maybe in the Big West kicking the ball around for a little bit.
Would have taken you gladly. I think you would have been very strong in name, image, and likeness. So
I appreciate that very much. So I do want to ask you this, because I feel like you're living a life that I vicariously am trying to live at times, and that is the fact that you were texting me while walking the Great Wall of China. So I would love to know about that experience.
Well, you can tell how responsive I am, and how as I say, my phone's always on in that respect. And you're absolutely right. My wife and I took a bucket list trip. As my mom said before she passed, she kind of ingrained that into us. Don't wait for retirement to do the trips you want to do, because you may not be able to do those trips in retirement. So Elaine and I decided to take a trip to China. We hit 5 different cities in a 12-day period. It was a very aggressive trip, but yes, I got a text from you while I was on the Great Wall of China, and I think I surprised you by saying, "Hey Dan, I'm currently at the Great Wall of China. Can we talk later?" In that respect, and you're like, "Really?" Yeah. I was like, "Yep, I was." It was extremely hot, but wow, what an experience to actually be. I love history. I'm a world history kind of person, and to be in the same place where soldiers were years ago, fighting the Huns and doing the things they needed to do to protect China at the time and the territories. It was just awe-inspiring to just think that humans built that wall, built thousands of miles of wall, and how it still stands today, and how we currently in our current society build buildings that may last 30 years, and we tear them down for new buildings. But definitely awe-inspiring. Definitely took it in many ways. We saw anything from the Terracotta Warriors to Tiananmen Square to the Forbidden City, as well as the Great Wall. So truly enjoyed that trip, and I want those that are listening to take that advice to heart. I think college athletics needs to take that advice to heart. Don't wait for retirement to do the things you want to do, because you may not be able to do them in retirement.
I tell people all the time, I said, I'm living my retirement while I'm working. My work is my play is my work. So I said, when I go to cover the college football playoff, I'm enjoying those cities. I'm going out to the beach in Miami. I'm going to my favorite nacho spot, Tin Lizzie's in Atlanta. I'm taking time in Dallas, Arlington area to go to the JFK tour and whatnot when I'm down there. And so to me, it is about living your life while you're working, as opposed to saying when I'm 70 or 80 years old, I want to experience it now and then experience it again, before I'm done with my life. I don't want to start having fun right before, God calls me home. So I agree with that. Your mom has very wonderful advice. God bless her in heaven. And I'm happy that you took it. And I am, and I'm not just saying this because you and I know each other, but I genuinely appreciate your energy. I appreciate your belief in me, your innovation, your drive, your dedication. The energy that you have and the fervor that you have for life is contagious. And I just, I always feel like when I get the time to talk with you on or off the air, it inspires me to keep charging forward. So it's nice to know I'm not doing it alone. And once again, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do something completely new and innovative and special for student athletes, coaches, and all membership of the Big West by signing this partnership and creating something that is truly bold and real, genuine, and consistent. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I feel spoiled to be able to spend this time with you because you are so aligned with me. I look for alignment in my life, and being at the amusement park when you and I had that meeting and I'm there on FaceTime with you, I knew within that 10 to 15 minute conversation, I was like, I got to work with this guy. So I do appreciate it.
No, I do appreciate that. And believe me, I take Walt Disney quote to heart: keep moving forward, opening new doors and trying new things. And Dan, this was definitely innovative, a bold move on our part. And I'm excited where this is going to go over the next years and many years to come, including the potential of seeing if you could do play-by-play or being an analyst at our games, at our championships down the line. You never know where the doors could open. Dan is part of this partnership with the Big West.
You say something like that, I'm like, hey, let's talk. So definitely looking forward to it. And that's how I started my career, as a play-by-play, as a commentator. So, and that's always near and dear to my heart. So thank you for those kind words. I look forward to the years to come as well. And I appreciate the fact that we took this bold step forward together. As always, Dan, for you and your family, God bless. And I look forward to talking with you soon.
Thank you, Dan. Talk to you soon.
Big West, only the bold.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9 campground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. Canine Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose Canine Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily?
Hello, this is Dylan Husted, the owner of the Baked Potato Express. We do mostly big festivals or big corporate like private events. Typically just big festivals such as like Taste of Syracuse, Food Truck Battle, Battle of the Wings. I do the State Fair. They're ordering from a fresh food truck that is making real food and happy to make it and wants them to enjoy every bite. We season every potato before they go in the oven, and then they bake for an hour, and when they come out, we season them again after we cut them. We use real butter, real cheese, real ingredients, so it's all really good food and people love it. We have a lot of returning customers and regulars that we see very often. The customers really make a big impact, and this is a big food truck community. The events here are super busy. It's like in my blood. I like building things and creating stuff that people love, and me and my friends are the ones that run the truck, so it's kind of, we keep it's a tight circle in there, and we have like a family sort of oriented truck, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a good time doing it, and people love our food, so it ends up making it well for everybody. You can contact the Baked Potato Express at thebakedpotatoexpress@gmail.com or the Baked Potato Express on Instagram or TikTok. We are very happy to be partnered up with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as the exclusive sponsor of the Annoying Moment of the Week. And be sure to try DT's baked potato creation at all of our food trucks. The Baked Potato Express. Let's get baked.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Make sure you head over to GG Cards and Breaks today and every Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. GG Cards and Breaks. Make sure you head over there and find yourself the beauty of being a big kid. The beauty of getting closer to the teams you love, the players you love, the games you love to play. collecting cards, folks, I mean, I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I took some time away from it. When I was a kid, there was a wonderful card shop in central New York. It went away, and I thought I was never going to have a place like that again, where I felt at home, where I truly felt like, man, I want to go there every day, just because I love the people. I love what they have to offer. I love that, looking through the display cases, and I just love the mystery of opening up a box or a pack of cards. I've never lost that. To me, I'm not 40 years old. I'm still 9 when it comes to opening those packs and those boxes. That's the beauty of a place like GG Cards and Breaks. It's a time capsule. It's a time machine, essentially. So whatever your age, whatever your sport, whatever you love when it comes to trading cards, Pokemon, Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, so on and so forth, head to GG Cards and Breaks. Find a place that is built in the community, ingrained in our community, and cares about our community. They go to the nth degree for all of us, and they're always worth going and visiting. On 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5. With that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I am so happy to be here with you this morning. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I never know how to say goodbye, so those of you that know me know that I always say see you. And speaking of, and I'm going to try to get through this without getting emotional. It's been an emotional couple weeks here. I'm going to do my best without getting emotional, but I probably will. Today's my grandpa's birthday, my papa. I love him dearly, and I miss him tremendously. If you would allow me to, I'm going to go off script here a little bit, and that's me. So I'm going to do something here on the show, and I hope that you can give me some patience here to put it up. So I'm going to bring up a picture of my grandpa, my Papa Cavino, my mom's dad. So my papa and I, very close. And you can see in the picture here, this is me when I was little. This proves to people, you can't tell completely in this, but my hair was lighter, and I actually had blonde hair for the first 3 years of my life. This was probably when it was starting to get dark, but that's me with my Papa Cavino. I miss him every day. And I don't have words. My mom told me that when he passed away, for the first 2 years that he had passed, it was hard for her to look me in the eye, because him and I have the same eyes. And it's funny, because going throughout my life, people would compliment my eyes. They would say things about my eyes and how unique they are. And then I would think, well, I got my grandpa's eyes. They're green, they're brown, sometimes they have a yellow ring. And so some people say hazel, but I remember that there was somebody that called them honey one time, and I said, I like that because I like honey. To have his eyes is a beautiful thing. My grandmother also said about my grandfather, she said, Daniel, I had him right here. And she pointed to the palm of her hand. She said, I had him right there. I said, you had him in the palm of your hand? Yep. He put me up on a pedestal, she said. I said, did you ever take advantage of that, Grandma? She shook her head, no. She said, I had him right here, though. He asked her out numerous times. He was her foreman, and he would walk by. And she worked in a totally different part of the building, and he would just walk by. Because he wanted to talk to her. He wanted a chance. She wouldn't give him one. She played hard to get. He kept asking. And eventually she said yes. Without that yes, I don't have my mom. And without that yes, I'm not here. When he passed away, my grandmother donated his eyes. And I think about that because having his eyes means that I get to live on, with him with me. My mom also said, you are your grandfather's grandson in the fact that you are slow to anger. You don't like it. That someone has to push you and push you and push you. But once you're there, you're there. And not even anger, just you don't like being upset with people. My grandfather had a big heart. I do too. It gets you taken advantage of, it gets you run over, it gets you hurt, but it also is the only way that I would live because the people that do love you value your heart tremendously. Not wanting to be angry, never wanting to hurt someone, leading with a pure heart and good intentions, wanting the best for everybody, being selfless. All of these things that I take in my life bond me to a man that taught me how to grow and taught me how to learn. He passed away when I was 6 in 1992. It is now 2026. And if you ask me who has helped lead me for the last 36 years, or however many years it's been, did I do that math right? No, I didn't. So let me do this right. So 1992, it's 2026. So it's 34 years. If you ask me who's led me in my life, I would include my grandpa. My grandfather was a business owner. He owned 3 businesses at one time, Covino Brothers. He said his favorite job, though, was the last job he did, which was be a janitor at a high school. It was his favorite job because he got to be around the kids and he got to help. He got to be there for them. And he had the opportunity to make a difference with children. My other grandfather worked on a truck, the Ralph James truck. There was many of them. They were food trucks, the first of their kind, and they used to be at Syracuse's campus. My family had a very, very prominent name on Syracuse's campus. And my other grandfather, he got to be there for the kids too. I've learned from those 2 men the labor of love and how hard it is sometimes to navigate a world that you don't understand. But if I've learned anything from these 2 men, it is that no matter how far away you are, no matter how silent it is, and you can't feel their touch, and you don't hear their voice, it doesn't mean that they went anywhere. Those that love you never truly are gone. They will always find their way. And even in death, I feel them. I hear them. I see them. And ironically, I saw my grandfather very recently when I was meditating. I was I was laying down next to my girlfriend. I closed my eyes. I asked God to show me himself. Because I felt like I was not as close to God. I felt like it had been a long time since I had really felt him. And I said, can you please just come to me? And I saw Jesus's face. Really, more than anything, I saw Jesus's eyes. And as his eyes got closer, he went away. And I saw my grandma. I saw my G-Mama. When I saw her, she looked at me, she smiled, and she danced with me. The last time I danced with my grandma was many years ago. Then all of a sudden my grandfather showed up, and you got to understand, I haven't seen my grandma. She hasn't come to me in dreams or anything in a while. She did come to me before my hernia surgery. She stood up right outside the studio in my office, and she was right there with me. I knew it was her. And I love you, G. So my grandma showed up in this vision while I was laying next to my girlfriend in the morning and meditating. I saw my G. I danced with her. Then my grandfather showed up and he took over and he danced with her. Rightly so. Then they both looked at me and gave me a message about the love in my life. I took it to heart. Because one, I don't see them a lot. Two, they don't say what they don't mean. And they are two of the greatest examples of love I've ever had. And I aspire to be better because I was raised by the best. So happy birthday. My mom said my grandpa, I think, would have been 111 today. Happy birthday to the man who leads me to this day, Papa Cavino. God, I miss you. It's been over 30 years and I still think about you at least once a day. I'm so happy you got to dance with G-Mama in heaven, and I love and miss you both so much. I'm grateful and blessed to have your eyes. And whenever someone talks or tells me I'm like you, it's such a beautiful compliment, because being anything like you is a good thing. You will always be my role model, and I can't thank you enough for being my papa. Thank you also for visiting me recently and speaking with me about time. Something I've always struggled with, but something I have to trust. I love you. You all have a beautiful day. God bless every single one of you. Truly. As we always say here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, God bless, no stress, do your best. We're on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both / WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.mixlr.com. Of course, we are also here with you on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Many thanks to our incredible partners here in Central and Upstate New York. Great Lakes Honda City, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world. The Baked Potato Express, which is now at the New York State Fair. Gray's Craze of Clay, New York. Skippy's Ice Cream. Canine Camp. Dog Daycare. Pizza Man. Mother's Cupboard. Canine Campground Dog Boarding. Chick-fil-A Cicero. Avicoli's. Ma and Pa's is also at the Great New York State Fair, which opened today on my grandpa's birthday. Game Point Sports Complex. Willow Rock Brewing Company and the Willow Rock Pizza Pub. And of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your OnTech Charter High School. The Wolf Pack, those gray wolves, are here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, you will find the gray wolves, student athletes, coaches, administration, and more in Wolfpack Mentality, which airs every Thursday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, once a month, Leaders of the Pack with the administration of OnTech Charter High School. OnTech Charter High School is a very special place. They are unique to our community, and I want to share with you exactly what that uniqueness means. When it comes to them, they are a fresh start for high school success. They have no districting, so anybody in New York State is welcome to come to this public school to be a part of the Wolfpack, where you have personalized learning, hands-on opportunities, and a growing athletic program. Focused on graduation and career readiness, this strong student-staff relationship provides leadership opportunities and puts a premium on creating a healthy, caring community that focuses on the mental and physical health of teenagers. For more information, go to ontechcharter.com, and you can find all of our specials by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our On Tech Syracuse playlist. Go Grey Wolves. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, our exclusive multimedia marketing partners with the Binghamton University Bearcats. You will find the Bearcats every single Tuesday during Bearcat time at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni joining the show where sports meets life here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. For all of our content with the Bearcats, go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. I want to shout out our fantasy football league at the Wildcat Sports Pub, Captains on Call. My upcoming draft with the Gridiron Gurus is coming up this coming week, and I look forward to that as well. And so shout out to the Wildcat. Thank you for being our home for 9 years for fantasy football. Make sure you go out and draft at the Wildcat with your league today. Many thanks, speaking of league, to the wonderful Big West and Commissioner Dan Butterly. Thank you for signing a monumental, state-of-the-art, unique, innovative, and original partnership with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, signing on an entire Division I conference in NCAA and making history across this great nation with the Big West, and making history today with the inaugural episode of Bold Step Forward featuring Dan Butterly, the Commissioner of the Big West, who will join me once a month to tell me the story of the Big West and to speak on national topics surrounding collegiate athletics from the office of the Commissioner. Thank you to Dan. Thank you to you. Thank you, Grandpa, for raising me the way you did, and thank you for giving me your eyes. God, I love you. I trust you. And God bless. No stress. Do your best. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, enjoy the fair, everybody. We'll talk soon.